My name's Tim Fisher, and I'm Principal here at Queen Elizabeth Sixth Form College. And with me this afternoon is Laurence Job, our Deputy Principal, and I think you might want to wave or say hello, Laurence.
Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us.
Okay, so the main purpose of this session is obviously to give you a chance to ask us questions and us a chance to answer them, and thereby give you a really good insight into the college. To make that happen, I'm sure you all know about Zoom by now because we've been living on things like this for the last year. But down at the bottom of your screen, if you move your cursor around, you'll see a bar appear at the bottom of your screen, and if you just click on the button that says Q&A, you will then be able to type in whatever question you would like to type, and we will answer it. You can start typing whenever you want. I'll probably say a few things now. Feel free to type away while I'm talking. And at any point during the next half hour, any thoughts that come into your mind, anything you'd like an answer to, just please type away and we'll do our best to answer your questions. Now, obviously, normally at this stage in the year, you would have actually had plenty of chances to come into the college, but for obvious reasons, that's not been possible this year. However, because restrictions are gradually lifting, I'm pleased to say, we do have planned a number of ways in which you can actually come and visit the college for real, which I'd really recommend you do because it's a great way of finding out about a place. And Laurence, towards the end of this session, will be telling you more about how you can do that. So there's a variety of ways. So if you want to stick around and make sure you listen out for that, then we'd love to welcome you onto the site. If this were a normal year, by now, you'd probably have been here on an open evening. And during an open evening, normally happens around about October, November, I would normally have had the opportunity to speak to you all in the main hall here at the college, which is it's a fantastic resource. The main hall, it's an old Victorian hall with stained glass windows. It's part of the Victorian section of the college, but of course we also have state-of-the-art facilities here, fantastic modern buildings with all of the kind of technological learning resources that you'd expect in a modern college. But you're not getting the chance to see that at the moment. One of the things I say actually when I do that presentation in the hall, I often mention the fact that the hall really reminds us actually of the history of this college, because it's a very long history. It goes back way before the Victorians, right back to Queen Elizabeth I. And it's important that we remember that history, because when you join QE, what you're actually doing is joining a tradition of success, of young people learning and going on to do fantastic things with their lives that goes back all of those centuries. So you become part of something kind of really big and really important. And the things that our students go on to do these days are just phenomenal. I mean, I haven't got time really to go into all the details, but Laurence and I are in contact with all sorts of students, frankly, right around the world, who have gone on to do the most incredible things, and you become part of that tradition if you join us. And obviously, one of the ways we make that happen is by getting fantastic results, and you'll know our results, both raw results, that's the kind of results that we would normally publish, and then value-added results, which measure your progress against your starting point when you join here. Ours are comparable to the very best right around the country. But it's not just about results, of course. Really importantly, it's about the life that you enjoy while you're here. And so this college is here not just to offer you fantastic teaching and learning, but also a life that includes clubs and societies, trips, visits, sport, music, you name it, all sorts of activities, all sorts of things to keep you interested and make sure that you're really enjoying your time here. You can find out more about all of that by visiting the website, and of course taking that opportunity to come in and see us. But this evening really is more about having the chance to answer some of your questions. And Laurence is actually going to look after that part of the session. So Laurence is our kind of question master. He's the one that's going to read out the questions, and we'll endeavour to answer them as fully as we possibly can.
Brilliant, thank you. So thanks ever so much for the questions there. They're coming in, which is great. So thank you for posing the questions. The first one is about sort of extracurricular opportunities. So Tim mentioned a little bit there We're really proud of the vast range of extracurricular kind of clubs, activities, sport, music that we have on offer. So we have over about 60 different activities that you can choose from. So I'm sure that there's something there that you're interested in. And if you yourselves, if there wasn't one and you wanted to start a club or society, then students have done that in the past as well. We would encourage them to do that. So, there's a vast range. Some of them are kind of there. All of them are there for you to meet new people, to have fun, to enjoy college. Some are great for developing leadership skills. So Duke of Edinburgh, the Cadet Force. Some of them are linked to maybe your careers that you're thinking of. So we have future engineers, future medics. And I'd say some of them are sort of about social responsibility. So we have an Interact Club, which does an awful lot of great charity work, and they've been nominated and they've won some national awards based on their community work there. And some are just very recreational. So whether it's a kind of chess club or the Kiwi magazine or various sports, music ensembles, music choirs, pop groups, that type of thing. There'll be a lot there for everyone, I'm absolutely sure. So thank you very much for that. Another question is about sort of teaching and learning, what's teaching and learning like. So Tim, if you want to take that one.
Yeah, sure. So there's a great variety of teaching and learning techniques used at the college, and partly it will depend upon the particular subject that you're thinking about. So some learning styles and some approaches to learning lend themselves better to some subjects than others. But all of our teachers train throughout the year on developing what we call pedagogy, the kind of methods of teaching that are used here. And what we also do is actually teach students about this, so that in your tutorial sessions, you'll learn about how you learn. And that way you can make sure that you're selecting the right techniques that work for you and help you develop the kind of skills and knowledge that you need. So really, there's a great variety. Some of it will be kind of the kind of techniques that you're familiar with from school. Some of it will be new to you, and some of it will be more about preparing you for the kind of work that you may encounter if you go to university. But lots of it is very, very active. It's always about discussing things, sharing your views, and also learning about how you learn best so that you can get the best outcomes and the best experience for yourselves on those courses.
Great. And also in terms of your teachers, really one of the strengths of the college is they're all experts in their subjects, so they specialize in their subjects. And of course, they work very hard, but they do teach all A levels, so they don't have to worry about younger students. They don't have to teach another subject largely or other year groups. So they really can focus on being experts, not just in their subject, but also teaching your age group. So that's where their experience lies. And a lot of them are sort of examiners, so they really can get to know the course really well and what's required to help you get the best possible grades. And they're all really enthusiastic. They love their subjects, and they will often arrange visits and trips and activities, extracurricular activities within the departments as well, again, to enhance your experience. And all of those activities are designed really for you and your age group, because we're a sixth form college. So I'm sure you'll have a great experience with our teachers. So thank you for that question. There's a couple of questions about bridging, actually, and about choosing subjects to take on bridging. So for those of you who might not be aware, bridging is a 3-day experience when you'll be invited to the college to basically become a Kiwi student. And our students in the past always loved bridging because it is that first chance to do that, to see what it's like to be a student. And hopefully, all being well with the current situation, we're planning on doing that on the 28th to the 30th of June. And you'll be invited in, and you will take some sample lessons in a range of subjects, and you can basically, experience what life is like. So we will be in touch with you very shortly about that. We always keep in touch with you. If you've obviously applied to the college, then that's much easier for us because we have your details, and we'll be emailing you and contacting you about that. So if you haven't yet applied, you can do so via the website. You're not sort of committing yourself to anything at this stage because obviously you don't make final choices until after your GCSE results are known in August. But that's the best way then to find out about bridging. So that will be with you very shortly. Okay, so there's a couple questions. So Hugo, about the tutorial system. So Tim, shall I pass on to you about our Progress Tutor system?
Yeah, sure. So when you join us as a student, you'll obviously be assigned to certain classes and you'll have your class teacher. But in addition to that, you will have your own progress tutor. So your progress tutor is there really to look after, as the name suggests, that your progress at the college, make sure that if there's anything that might get in your way, might be a barrier of some sort to your learning or your progress, that they can help you or direct you to help. Also to keep reminding you of the things that you will need to do to prepare for, whether it's employment or whether it's university. So they'll keep you informed of all of that. And there is an ongoing tutorial program. So you will actually meet with a group of other students, typically probably about 20 students. And when you meet with them, you will have delivered to you sessions on all sorts of things, generally about preparing for life after the college, but also sometimes about how you learn and how you get the most out of college while you're here. So it's a very structured kind of format for the progress tutors. We also have what we call guidance directors, who are a bit like heads of year in school. So if you do encounter any issues and do need some additional support, then they're just the people you can go to. Again, they may be able to solve issues. They may be able to give the right advice themselves. When they can't do that, it will always be about making sure that you're supported to find, they would help you find and signpoint you off to the right place where you could get that advice, whether could be about money or it could be about your career or whatever. So we have a whole team of specialists working in different areas to support you. And those progress tutors and that progress tutorial program is all about making sure you get the best out of college, that you're helped, that you're supported, and that also you're thinking really carefully and planning for what happens after QE.
Brilliant. Yeah, they really are wonderful people, the progress tutors. They really do care about our students and really want the best for them. So you're in good care there. There's a question about sort of help for students with dyslexia or dyspraxia. So we have a really strong learning support department who supports students with a range of additional needs and medical conditions and disabilities, etc. And when you apply to the college, we then have a conversation with you about any additional help that you might need. But even more importantly, it's all our teachers are trained to be able to support students and to make sure that we meet all of your individual needs so that all students can thrive, can achieve and exceed their potential. So we're very confident that all students are very well supported. So please do get in touch with us if we don't know about any additional needs you might have, and then we'll get back in touch with you and have that conversation with you so that we're working together to support you the very best. Okay.
Is it worth saying as well, Laurence, of course, that when it comes to preparing for things like exams as well, we're very experienced in making sure that whatever it is that you need, those exam arrangements need to be particular to support you, the kind of thing that you'll be used to at school, whether it's using assistive technology or whatever, that will make sure absolutely that is put in place. And we'll discuss that with you so that you can make sure that any of those needs are absolutely properly supported throughout your time at the college, including preparation for any assessments or exams.
Absolutely. A couple of questions, kind of a similar theme about the college day and how that works, and about whether you need to stay in college all the time. So this might be very different from your current timetable in school. So I must explain, my light has gone off. It's part of our sort of energy saving devices and being green, that if we don't move about, then the lights go. So I'll correct that in a minute. So basically, the way the college day runs might be different to how it is in schools. You have, in terms of your lessons, you have 4 lessons for each of your subjects, totaling 5 hours, which is quite a generous allocation. He mentioned about progress tutor, so you'll have a tutorial twice a week as well, where you can meet your progress tutor and get the support that they can give you. But then there will be some gaps in your timetable. The study period, students sometimes call it free periods, which is absolutely fine. And you won't have to be in college during those gaps. It's all about really working with you and helping you to manage your own time and taking responsibility for that. Because coming to college is a stepping stone really to you moving into the more adult world of university or work or apprenticeships. So, we work together on that. So a lot of students do use those gaps to work, to go up maybe to the art studio and finish off a piece of work, or, on popular music, do a performance. But some do want to have a bit of time to relax with their friends. So they might go upstairs to the Costa Coffee and, grab a bite to eat and a drink. And that's absolutely fine as well, because this is what we do in the adult world. So it's about working with you and you taking a little bit of responsibility. Okay, so that basically is how it's a bit different to schools, perhaps. There's a question here about if you don't get your predicted grades from your GCSEs. So Tim, I'm sure will say something about that, but really we want to give some reassurance. If I can hand over to Tim about that, any concerns you might have about the current situation and your grades.
Yeah, I mean, I can talk about that generally as well. I mean, on a very practical level, if you don't get the grades that you were predicted, I mean, the predicted grades are kind of useful because they give us an idea of what you were expecting. But we do have entry requirements for particular subjects. So actually, more important than your predicted grades would be making sure that you have the kinds of grades that suggested to us that you would be well prepared for particular subjects. But as Laurence said, this year is so different that we do recognise that you'll have gone through a completely different experience to the generations that came before you. One of my worries is that some people will perhaps see that as something that gives them a sort of deficit in their learning. Well, actually, as far as we're concerned, we think that whilst the pandemic's obviously been a terrible situation for everybody, what we've seen in young people, both here at the college and in the schools that we deal with right around Darlington and further afield, we've seen young people actually picking up completely different skills. I mean, you'll be the best generation ever at working in this way because this is what you've been doing. So we tend to look at things not as a deficit, but look at the positives and the things that you have got. There's no doubt you're every bit as bright as the previous generation. That's how it works. That's how people are. But you've got a different experience, different set of skills and things that you can bring here. So where it comes to GCSEs, don't worry too much about things like predicted grades. When you arrive, what we'll do when you enroll, we'll talk to you and we'll discuss, the kind of subject choices that you're making, the things that you feel you're good at, the things that you feel you want to work at. And together, we'll make sure that collaboratively, we come up with the right kind of course for you to guarantee that you get what you want in the future. And also that you're successful, that you're not setting yourself up in a way that might be problematic, but you're playing to your strengths and going on and having that great life that we know you want. So don't worry about it. Don't fret about it. We're absolutely here to help you and support you.
Great, absolutely. Thank you. And definitely, we're with you every step of the way. So we will work with you and you'll be brilliant, I'm absolutely sure. A couple of questions about kind of enrollment type questions. And about subjects. So if I talk about the subjects, first of all, the question is about how many subjects can a student take. So in the main, the vast majority of our students take 3 subjects. That it tends to be, what universities and employers and apprenticeship providers sort of are asking for required. That tends to be the general number. And so that number will get you where you want to go. Again, we'll talk to individuals if there's any sort of deviation from that. But often what students do as a kind of an extension as well is take an EPQ, an extended project qualification, pick that up at the end of the first year and then finish it in the second year. And that's a brilliant qualification because that can demonstrate to people that your independent learning skills because you choose the topic and how you work with that. And often with EPQs, a university might well reduce your offer for your courses if you get a particular grade in your EPQ. We're always very successful with EPQs. With regards to subjects, one of the beauties, again, of coming to us is you can actually design your own study program. So you actually can pick from a combination of the subjects that we offer. And, you've got a lot of choice with that. And some of those subjects might be subjects you've never heard of, or you've certainly never studied before. So things like geology, film studies, politics, etc. 2 different types of media, and there'll be more familiar subjects as well. So again, on the website, if you go on to, there's an area for new students, and if you look at that, there was a course tab, a course area Each of our courses have produced some wonderful websites where you can really explore what the course is all about, and you can engage with interactive activities. So please do have a look at that. There's a wide variety for you to choose, and some really exciting subjects in there. And then another student is talking about how many students sort of get accepted a year, how many we tend to have. So we're really popular. We're a really popular college. We never take that for granted. We always work really hard to make sure that we give you what you're wanting and what you're wanting to get out of college. But we tend to have in excess of 1,000 students a year who join us. From a very wide geographical area, so from North Yorkshire, from Teesside, from County Durham, from Darlington as well, of course. And that really creates a very vibrant atmosphere in the college where you're mixing with lots of different people, but they all have one thing in common, and that is they come here obviously to get their courses done, to do really well in their studies, and also to have a really good time. So, you'll make lots of new friends as well by coming here. So it's a really dynamic place. And then another question here is about kind of support for HE and careers and work experience. So Tim, maybe if I pass that one to you.
Yeah, sure. So there's a huge amount of support. If you think about it, we know when students join a college rather than a school, they're with us for a relatively short space of time. So we start really on the right foot by saying, okay, we want you to really enjoy yourself, have a great time here. But we also need to be thinking very carefully about what it is you're going to be doing when you leave the college. So with that in mind, we've got full-time career service here on site, which you can access anytime you want. It's literally as simple as going along to reception and saying, I'd like to book a careers appointment, and they will see you, within a matter of days at the most. So they are there to make sure that they provide for you all of the support that you need in terms of the questions that you might have and the processes that you might want to go through for doing things like applying to university or applying for jobs. We also have a tutorial program that would cover all sorts of areas of careers and work experience, and that would help you to perhaps think about and consider what options you might have, because it's quite understandable, very, very usual for students to turn up here and say, well, I don't really know what I'm going to do at the end of it. We're used to that. It's perfectly natural. Why would you? And so we need to spend some time with you throughout your time on the course, really working on that, honing your thinking and getting to the point where you really know what it is that you'd like to do. In terms of work experience, very similar to the career side of things. If there's a work experience placement that you would like in a given industry or sector, it's simply a question of going along to our full-time work experience coordinator, letting her know, and she will work with you on finding an appropriate placement. By the same token, she will provide you throughout your time at the college with all sorts of opportunities that you may wish to take. So it could be something comes along, you'd never even thought of it before, you didn't even know the job existed, but you think, oh, that's interesting, I'll go along and try a bit of that. And we have work experience organised here from the very sort of small, short work experiences for a very short period of time through to several weeks. So there's lots and lots that we do to make sure that you are prepared for your future, and also that you're inspired to think about all of the possibilities that are out there for you.
Great, thank you. You might be interested to know as well, there is a webinar about HE careers just after this one, so at 6:30. So you'd be very welcome to join that via the website as well. A question about financial assistance, if there's any financial support. Yes, there is. There's quite a bit actually. So we do have some grants and bursaries. We have free college meal support, and we have some transport assistance with transport costs as well. That information again is on the website. Sometimes people do ask us if there are fees to come. There aren't any tuition fees or anything like that. But there is that financial support if you might need a bit of help with sort of living costs, okay, or transport costs. So please do have a look at the website for that as well. And then a couple of questions just about what happens next with the application process. So hopefully if you have applied, we should have had a conversation with you, or we will have a very informal conversation with you just to get to know you really as an individual and to talk about things like your courses, etc. So I mentioned bridging, so hopefully bridging will go ahead on the 28th to 30th. We'll invite you to that. We are also hoping that we will be able to have some open events in June that when some of the restrictions ease further, so particularly after the final stage of the roadmap. So we will have open events in the evening and on a Saturday. And we also hope to organise some individual tours of the college where you and members of your family can come and meet with a member of staff here to take you around for a good look around the college. So again, all of those things, we might have to book for those, but the key thing, please, is if we have your email address. So the best thing, again, is if you apply to us, then we can get all your details and then we can keep in touch with you. And then really, it then comes to enrollment. So after your GCSE results come out, that's the official period of enrollment, okay, where we, again, we'll meet with you and discuss what your needs and your aspirations are and work with you on that program of study. Okay, so that's sort of coming up. If I just finish from me, just by saying there is also another webinar at 7 o'clock. So we're back at 7 o'clock. If you would like to come and join us again, or if there's any questions you haven't had answered. But there is also an extracurricular webinar at 7 o'clock, including sport as well. Okay.
Thanks, Laurence. I'm just aware there are, of course, some questions that we haven't had a chance to answer. Not a problem at all. You can email us directly at the college inquiries number. The email's on the website. No problem at all. Just contact us anytime you like with any of these questions. We'd be really happy to help. Alternatively, you can, of course, you can ring us up. I mean, we're quite happy to take phone calls. Just ring up the main number, and you can ask for me or for Laurence, and we'll be really happy to talk to you about any of those questions. Or, as Laurence said, if you've not had enough of us, you could come back to the next session, which I think is 7 o'clock, and listen to some of this again. But I hope that it's been useful for you. I hope it's given you an insight into the college, and I really hope that you do take those opportunities to come and join us for real, have a look around the place, get to meet the people, and see what a wonderful place QE is. But it's been great to have this opportunity to have a few words with you, and I hope we meet again soon. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.